So let's get going, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us to talk about the power of TikTok. This is the newest release of our Mason Interactive webinar series, where we talk about a range of topics, everything between new partner releases, market and industry trends, goal setting and best practices for how to approach a media strategy, and more. Today, we're going to be talking about TikTok, specifically because we know that there is a duopoly happening across the market where the bulk of everyone's investment within digital media, especially when we have a direct response type of focus, is emphasized within a paid social as well as a Google, paid social being Facebook and Instagram and Google Marketplace. And it's for good reason. They have the mass majority of the inventory, they have incredible reach, and they also drive incredible results due to their beautiful automation and machine learning. Those are two of the largest players in the space. We also have in the round robin of media strategies and capabilities, your Pinterest, your Twitters, your OTT video distribution, programmatic partners, digital out of home, and many, many more. The list goes on and on. Mason Interactive here, we have, actually, Chris, can you back up a slide?
Yes.
Mason Interactive, we run strategies across all those partners, but specifically today we want to talk about TikTok. And we talk about TikTok across the agenda that you're seeing here. We're going to focus on just the advertising platform as a whole, strategies, ad formats, content best practices, how you can get started personally, and then wrap this up with a Q&A at the end. Before we get into some more of the meat of this, I do just want to reference the fact that there is likely an elephant in the room with regard to TikTok, data privacy, whether the app will remain on phones, whether it will be removed. We personally at Mason Interactive do not know what that future holds, but what we do know is that today it is one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing user bases within a social media space. They have also recently introduced more of an easy access advertising platform. They have strong capabilities of targeting and reach to a very high value market. We're talking about Gen Z here. And those are the points that really matter most to us as digital marketing professionals. So we look forward to answering your questions at the end. And again, we're Mason Interactive. Who are we? We're a boutique agency founded in 2009. We have specializations across multiple verticals, but an emphasis on EDU, CPG, and the e-commerce space, specifically with an emphasis towards the fashion, lifestyle, beauty brands. We have our headquarters located in New York City, and we have just recently opened up an office in North Carolina, specifically the Charlotte area, which is super exciting for our growth, especially given the times that we're in today. We are listed as a Google Premier Partner and Facebook Business Partner, which gives us access to extensive data and market trends that are not usually privy to your average advertiser. And we handle business both domestically and globally across a range of services, which include paid social. Chris, you can click to the next one. SEO, email, really even digital out of home. The list goes on and on. That's the beauty of working with a boutique white glove agency, is that we have nimbleness, quickness, and extensive experience across a multiple variety of targeting strategies and data sets. That's not what we're here to talk about, though. Today, we're here to talk about TikTok and what's next with video capabilities across TikTok. Chris Kelly is joining me here. Chris, you want to wave to everyone on the video chat today? Chris,
thanks for joining us.
Our performance marketing managers, specifically stacked to our Team Hawk pod. Team Hawk has a specialization across EDU and e-commerce, as well as our CPG. Chris is one of our performance marketing managers that has a specialization in paid search. When he joined us in Mason Interactive, he wanted to start stretching his legs into paid social. And over the past couple of years, he has really spearheaded and grown into his paid social capabilities and is our internal TikTok expert. Personally responsible for getting a few brands live within a very quick amount of time. So Chris, without further ado, please do take it away and get going.
Thanks so much, Adrian, and thanks for joining us, everyone. So excited to talk about TikTok and what's next in social video. TikTok represents a really big opportunity. There are 84 million monthly active users in the United States. That's a quarter of the population. 77% of those users are Generation Z or millennials. So that's a huge set from all the way from 13 up to 34. And that next generation is not on other platforms. 40% of TikTok users are actually not on Instagram. This is a great way to really expand beyond the duopoly strategy that Adrian mentioned earlier.
That Gen Z is super important for growth, isn't it, Chris? Because I mean, if you think
Absolutely.
about the way that younger generations interact, they have more purchasing power, they have less bills to worry about, and they also are going to be your future loyal base once you think about how you can interact with them today. So that's why we really feel TikTok is so important for the future of brands.
Absolutely, Adrian, especially when you're really forming brand preferences in those early years when it comes to products and services. Although they're not necessarily the consumer right now, they're the consumer of the next few years, and they're going to have tastes and preferences when they emerge to that market. And this is a great way to get in front of them now. They're also highly engaged. Right now, they spend an average of over 80 minutes a day on the app, and they open the app 16 plus times a day, which is pretty exceptional. Overall, in the US, they watch 305 billion videos a month. That is an exceptionally engaged audience. Something that TikTok is doing amongst that exceptionally engaged audience is really emphasizing trust and safety as part of the community. They've recently tapped Kevin Mayer of Walt Disney Company to come on as their CEO for the US. Also, want to emphasize that all US user data is stored in the United States and subject only to United States laws. There's robust artificial intelligence and human moderation as videos are posted, and that keeps it a brand safe platform for you. There's also a lot of emphasis on campaigns and running user and community safety ads to make sure that the platform stays safe and welcoming for everyone. As far as strategies go, this is an opportunity to take advantage of an emerging platform. Only 2,000 advertisers were live in the beta compared to the millions and millions of advertisers you see on other platforms. This really allows your brand to stand out because it's not a cluttered marketplace. You can be a big fish in a small pond. We were one of the few agencies partnered with TikTok in the beta, so we do have that experience going back before their general access launch.
Nope, looks like Siri's listening in for a minute.
Siri is listening.
So being that it is such an emerging platform with such a limited advertiser interaction so far, to us, that just means opportunity. If they have, which Chris is going to get into in a little bit, a low entry point with easy testing capability, and as well as the ability to produce content that has low production costs, all that spells is opportunity for brands to get in front of a super high value audience.
Absolutely, Adrian. You hit the nail on the head with that. You really can stand out, and you can be amongst a really elite pool of advertisers like Apple and Netflix and Walgreens that are taking advantage of this. And there are opportunities to spend a lot of money on the platform, but you can really invest. Starting at $50 a day, there are opportunities and options for you. So it's a really diverse platform with a lot of capabilities. In that case, you want to really plan to be successful. Like on any platform, you really want to go ahead and create clear, measurable goals. What are you looking to accomplish with your TikTok ads? What's the budget? What are you willing to invest as you embark on this journey? And you really want to think critically about this audience. TikTok has a lot of robust targeting capabilities we'll talk about, but this is something that audience-centric content is king on TikTok. The ability to continue to track and measure those goals, for example, leveraging the TikTok pixel on your website to not just remarket to visitors, but to track conversions and other actions, very important. So measurement is a key part of your strategy. Can't emphasize that enough. And there's some great tools with TikTok to leverage that. And of course, since it is TikTok, mobile first experience. So understand that you want to really emphasize the mobile device. And that is something that's very important.
Yeah, I think.
And then lastly, have fun. TikTok is all about authenticity, and that authentic experience sorry about that, everyone. Siri sometimes jumps in.
So while Chris is taking care of his Siri here, the authenticity is really crucial to the success of getting into this new platform because of the fact that the audience is so specific, right? We're talking to a very specific person of a very specific demographic. The easiest comparison I could make for you was, would you use your Instagram profile picture for your LinkedIn account? Probably not, right? Everyone has probably seen that online content about, here's my Facebook profile picture, here's my Instagram, here's my LinkedIn, here's my Twitter. They all have their own flavor because they speak to that audience. Your Instagram one might be a little bit more artsy. Your LinkedIn one is very professional. Facebook might be more adventure or family focused. And that's how we like to try to talk about creative concepts with our partners when we think about getting them involved in a new platform, because you are speaking to a new population. And because we are speaking to that new demographic that maybe we haven't interacted with, we have to make sure that we speak their language. And we have to make sure that the content that we're putting out will resonate well with them. So when Chris is talking about here having fun, we really just mean that. Have fun with the content. Get creative. Don't focus on high production value, and make sure that you're having fun while you're doing it, because the TikTok audience is quite literally only focused about having fun when they're making their video content. That's the entire purpose of what's happening there, is bringing happiness, in engaging with one another, and starting a conversation rooted around just having a good time.
Exactly, Adrian. These are videos that need to be genuine and authentic, and sometimes an overly produced video will actually not perform well because it's just not genuine. So genuine is the key. As we talk about the targeting options I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of the familiar targeting options you'll see here: age, gender, location, interest, device ID, connection type, carrier, website visitor. Something that's really unique about TikTok is you can target based on device price, which is a great way to target that 13 to 17 segment with higher end goods and services based on the price of their mobile device, since they're not going to come up in a household income targeting list for many companies. This is a great way to actually target someone, knowing that if they have $1,000 plus for a device, they're able to maybe afford your more expensive product or service. If you're offering something more on the value end, you can absolutely target phones and devices that are going to be more value focused to make sure that you are connecting with that right audience when it comes to the financial aspect of your service and product. And spoke with our TikTok rep last week. They're also launching a few additional targeting options that are really exciting. Can't share them just yet, but there's some really cool things to come later in 2020. There's a lot of opportunity as well for different verticals to get involved, whether you are in the education space, beauty, direct-to-consumer, fashion, consumer packaged goods, even financial services. All of these verticals and more have a home on TikTok because your users there, and there's a strong opportunity to inspire and educate and get involved with consumers there. As far as the ad formats, we're going to go over a few of them at high level and then get a little bit deeper into the most commonly used. We're going to start here with the brand takeover. That is a big experience. It does cost big money, but you are owning the experience for 24 hours. You're getting 100% share of voice when someone opens the app. You are having a 3-second image or up to 5-second video that supports internal or external landing page, and you are really owning that experience. Secondly,
Chris, let's make sure
the top view is also going to guarantee you 100% share of voice for that 24-hour period. This is going to be a little longer video. You can go up to 60 seconds. We highly recommend staying around 15. That's where the sweet spot is. And this allows you to really drive engagement with shares, likes, comments, and follows for your organic page, as well as continuing to convert people either through an external or internal landing page. This is the in-feed video, and we're gonna actually spend the majority of our time talking about this particular medium today. The reason is it's exceptionally diverse. It is affordable, and this is a great entry point when you're looking to grow into TikTok and engage with your audience. This is what we're talking about. It's cost efficient. There's a number of methods, either cost per click, optimized cost, cost per 1,000 impressions, or cost per views. You're able to create this with your mobile phone, leverage TikTok's internal tools to add effects and tweak audio. All TikTok videos are going to have audio as well as sometimes music in addition to voice. It doesn't come through on our webinar software, so definitely check this out on TikTok, but you'll see what we're talking about. The audio makes it highly engaging. One of the interesting things about the in-feed video as well is, in addition to the landing page aspect, you can even direct people right to the Apple or Google Play app stores to target video to drive to app downloads. So there's a lot of opportunity here, and this is the most exciting feature of what they offer. And as you can see here, I'm sure you're all familiar with the customer journey. Adrian, if you want to jump in here, but you can see that across the conversion funnel, there's a lot of opportunity when it comes to the in-feed video.
So I don't know if you can hear me, Chris, but the slides before for in-feed, we just want to make sure that it's clear that the homepage takeovers and whatnot, those are not the $50 entry points. Those are the actual larger buys that would require a larger investment. But for the in-feed advertising, that's where you can get into the entry point of $50 per day. That's where we can have the actual optimizations that we're talking about and audience targeting that we're talking about here. But we do just want to emphasize that there are larger high impact medias available that we can use across those takeover assets. And I'm just going to Chris, what happened to the deck? Sorry, everybody. I need to have some technical adjustments to what's going on here. One moment, please. All right. Chris, I think your audio is a little messed up here. So if everyone can just bear with me for a moment, I'm going to pull up the slides and share my screen really quickly and just jump right back into where Chris was. All right, here we go. So if everyone can hear me, then we'll keep going. Let me share my screen. All right. Now, Mira, if you're listening, let me know if you cannot hear me, but I'm just going to keep going from here. So where we left off was talking about the funnel as it relates to TikTok. We talked about the different ad units from homepage takeovers to larger high impact media as it relates down to in-feed and video. And the way that we think about the funnel for TikTok would be the highest level of awareness and building consideration is that brand takeover. It's not focused on hard KPIs. It's not focused on driving direct response. It's just focused on making impressions and reaching the right person. The same thing with the top view. But as we get into the in-feed video, regardless of the fact that here at Mason Interactive, we see TikTok as being more of an upper funnel strategy. It's reaching a Gen Z population for new brand introductions with fun and engaging content. We do not see this currently today, not until TikTok starts to emphasize and elaborate on their targeting capabilities and tracking capabilities. We do not see it today as a strictly direct response platform. but it does have those benefits when you think about remarketing and when you think about product support. So it can have that, but we see it more as a new way to extend outside of the Google Display Network and outside of the Facebook video view awareness campaigns, and bring that awareness strategy into a new bucket for yourselves. All the way down towards loyalty. If we can foster a relationship with a Gen Z population that we connect with and we provide content that they like, they're going to keep engaging with us. And if we get them hooked into what we are offering, whether that be a potential future degree that they'd like to study or a product that will add value to their lives, they will become loyal and they will start to nurture that relationship back with us. So content best practices. It's great. We can have this top down and take over and in feed and how we can think about it in the funnel, but how do we really approach this? How do we get into play and bring in best practices for ourselves? So we heard Chris talk about authenticity earlier today, and authenticity and content that resonates is really the crucial component to making a successful TikTok campaign. Making it mobile first is an obvious statement. It's only on your phone right now. All the videos are vertical 9:16 or what people could think of as Instagram stories types of layouts. Engaging and relatable, making sure that it's not such a hugely produced and high value video because it's going to stand out entirely. All of the content on TikTok is user generated. All of the content on TikTok is edited within TikTok to add audio and text overlay. If you come in with a very polished video, it's going to stand out. It's going to look like an ad. And that may go either way for you, depending on how the brand is targeting, depending on how that content looks. It might be very successful, but it could also just hit a little bit differently. Visually captivating content is also very important. But again, keeping that fun tone to it and keeping people engaged with you is going to be very crucial to the success of reaching the population that's on TikTok today. Repurposing video. You heard me talk earlier about using your LinkedIn profile picture for your Instagram account or vice versa. If you wouldn't do that with your profile picture, we would highly recommend that you don't repurpose content from Instagram into TikTok and go the extra mile to just use the app, curate some new content for yourself, and make sure that it aligns with and resonates with the tone and vibe that exists within that platform. One of our partners, Indy Lee, has recently opted into TikTok. We were super excited to get her live. She is a more sustainably focused, paraben-free and toxin-free beauty brand focused on skincare. We love and value them as a partner. They're fantastic. We've been working with them for over a year now and driven great success across the duopoly I mentioned earlier, Google and Facebook, as well as other platforms. And TikTok has become a topic of conversation for us. So what did we do? We stuck true to what we're recommending that you do today. Authenticity and organic appearance. Getting someone that is highly connected to the brand involved to make a personal connection with the content that we're delivering and a personal connection with the audience that we're speaking to. Using video and voice background with the content, which you can't hear here. I apologize for that, but we were having some trouble with the audio overlay in the webinar hosting program. But I do encourage you to get onto TikTok and see if you get targeted by Indy Lee and let us know, because maybe you fall into that target demographic. This is an example of how the beauty space works. We could even throw out strategy ideas if you are a beauty brand listening in today to how-to videos, application videos, and more. The limit is really only your imagination. From the EDU space, our partner, the Culinary Institute of America, is actively on TikTok. We just launched them, I want to say 2 weeks ago. And the cool thing about this video, other than the fact that they are using a spray can to apply chocolate to a cake, which I don't know if anyone else is interested as I am, but I need that in my kitchen because that looks like a lot of fun. Whether it ends up on cake or not is a different story. But audio that complements the video, making it playful, making it fun. I don't know how it could get much more playful than using tools to actually apply chocolate to a cake. And authenticity is everything. We did not repurpose this video from Instagram. This has not been active on YouTube. This content was specifically made and filmed and used to apply audio overlay and text overlay for the TikTok space, which makes it valuable. And it's having great response, great interaction. We've been boosting up followers on TikTok. We've been getting good click-throughs from this, but we're not focused on the direct response. Again, remember, we see TikTok as a great way to introduce our brand to a generation that has future potential. A lot of the population that's in TikTok may not even be ready to apply for college. But what we have accomplished with this video is introducing them, making it fun, and building interest. We have now planted somewhat of a relationship and interaction with a demographic that will be of value for us to keep a conversation going with in the future. How do I get started? The question that you might all be thinking. Can I have this deck? The answer is we will be sending it out after. How do I get TikTok content creators to help me? We can help curate that. But really, the first thing you need to be thinking about is what are the goals and KPIs that matter to you? Now, if it is hard return and direct response, we might need to think about how we can get creative and use TikTok from a remarketing approach. An example would be placing a TikTok pixel and only using it for remarketing rather than more upper funnel targeting and acquisition. Considering your audience, who are you trying to speak to? Why are you trying to speak to them? And what do you want to say to them? I think those are three questions that you always have to ask yourself as a marketer and as a brand is who are you speaking to? What do you want to say to them? And why is it important that you reach out to them? And the reason being is that we need that content to be extremely unique to speak to that audience. We have to make sure that it resonates. This is not a spaghetti at the wall approach. This is not a spray and pray approach. This is a, let me think about my audience. Let me curate content that will resonate with them. And let me make sure that it has authenticity and relevance so that it speaks to them and makes a connection, because the connection is what matters. We really strongly feel that using data to drive decisions is important, but that data will only be as good as that first interaction and how we make sure that we curate our brand experience for the potential prospect. Testing within a small budget, low entry points, low production costs, to me means no reason to wait to test. And if you need help with that, you can always contact us at Mason Interactive. You can speak specifically with me. I'm the paid media director that oversees the entire media team and department, responsible for building relationships with our partners and executing strategies across a multitude of platforms, TikTok being one of those. The marketing concepts and strategies for how we speak to consumers and how we speak to prospective students or prospective customers really bleed between one and another, but making sure that we use the expertise of a partner such as us at Mason Interactive to ensure that the strategy is thoughtful, mindful, and approached with a high-touch, white-glove mentality is really the key to success. And it's really how we end up fostering really great relationships with all of our partners. So that really wraps it up for the deck content. We want to make sure that we have enough time for the Q&A, and I do just want to apologize for some of those technical difficulties. I'm going to go ahead and blame Siri rather than Chris for that one because it was Siri popping in there. Chris, sorry that you had some troubles there. Hopefully you were able to pop back in. I do just want to thank everyone for spending time with us. We are going to pop into a Q&A session now. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, pop back over here, and get back into the mix with everybody. I see we still have a bulk of the attendees that joined in from the beginning, so thank you very much for sticking around through the technical difficulties and the content. And I'm about to hop into the chat room here. Chris, I don't know if your audio is working or not. Can you do a test for me? Can't hear you. So it looks like when I reset the chat room for everyone that the questions did drop off. So if you wouldn't mind dropping a few fresh questions in there for me, I'd be happy to address them one by one. I do have one from Bravo saying, what's your recommended budget for starting up and how do I get, that seems very related to the how to get started question. And ultimately, I would say the entry point of that budget that we mentioned before, a safe spot to go for would be around 500 to 1,000 for the month to test. I'm always a fan of around 1,000 to 2,000 to start for a month. That breaks down to a very low average daily spend, but it at least gives us enough reach to start gaining some interest on interaction rate and post-click behavior if we start getting that. Let me see what we got here. How can I find TikTok video creators? Well, one way to do that would be to start curating content on your own and seeing what type of reaction you get. The TikTok audience is very hyper aware as to who's in their space. So if they notice a brand popping in there, that can be one way for you to do that. If that's challenging for you, we at Mason Interactive can help you curate some of those influencers or TikTok content creators, as they refer to themselves, so that they can start partnering with your brand. The details as to what that looks like varies across the content creator you're working with, but I hope that that answers your question. Are you aware of any hurdles related to compliance? I like that question because it is related to that elephant in the room that we were talking to earlier. I'm curious to know, Amy, if your compliance, without knowing too much about your background, if compliance is related to, say, financial services, or if compliance is related to, say, pharmaceuticals. I would say if you want to talk about how compliance might be affected in TikTok, reach out to us and we can set up a separate one-off conversation to make sure that the brand you're referencing or product you're referencing doesn't have any compliance regulations within TikTok. We have a direct contact at TikTok that we can interact with and ask some specific questions. So the more information we have about who you are and what your needs are, the better we can answer them.
Adrian, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Welcome back.
And I saw
Welcome back.
Good question about how we should reach out to influencers.
I just actually talked about that one.
Perfect.
If you want to add any color, please go for it.
No, sorry, there was an audio issue, so I will, I'm sure you answered it perfectly.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Are you aware of any other ad formats such as Big Day, Brand Page? If so, do you have details on these? Rob, so the ad formats that we referenced today with the takeover, the in-feed stream, and Chris, what's the other one? It's like Top View, I believe is what it's called.
Top View, yep, and then the brand takeover.
Yeah. So as of today, Rob, those are the 3 ad units that exist.
There are a few custom ones that are not general audience that we could work with TikTok directly to get available for you. So we do have some expansion options. If you'd like to talk about that, we'd love to partner with you and discuss those.
Gotcha. Yeah, Rob, and if there's any specific questions around the pricing around those, as far as like CPM costs or initial buy-ins or whatnot, again, we have a direct contact at TikTok. He's essentially our AM, which we can get more specific answers curated to your needs. Let me see. I'm just scrolling through here these questions for a minute. Can the ad be created in TikTok or do you have to create it and upload it? Chris, do you want to address that one?
That's a great question.
This is a question from Melissa.
Hi, Melissa. What we would recommend doing is filming it even on a mobile device and then through the TikTok ads platform, uploading it and editing it. That is actually going to be through the web on your browser on a computer and not your mobile phone. Because the advertising aspect of TikTok is managed through a web-based platform.
Got it. Thanks, Chris. Very helpful. All right. Please do throw in questions into the chat. I have a few here that I'm looking through, but do want to make sure that we get everyone's answers if there are any that are popping up. Let's see here. Can hear you. Clients have a biased opinion that most creators on TikTok are parody accounts and won't benefit the brand as they're non-buyers. Any suggestions on how to entice clients into investing in the platform? So, Levent, I believe if I'm understanding your question correctly here, it sounds like the concern is that the content creator that you might be partnering with doesn't actually resonate well with your brand or believe in your brand or even have the possibility of purchasing the brand themselves. And if that's the case, then how can we expect their audience to? I hope that that is actually what your question is. And I would answer that with the fact that we have to do our research. So the same way that we do our research on how to curate the ad content to make sure that it speaks to the audience that we want, we have to make sure that the audience research that ties back to the creative leads us into the content creator that makes the most sense for us. Just because someone is very popular and has a large reach or has millions of views doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right fit for you or for your product. That said, I would love to talk about this in more detail with you because I'm curious to know what it is you're trying to achieve. And that's basically my job, is to help partners achieve goals. So I'd love to catch up with you on that in more detail. Let me see this. Brendan Locke has a great question here. Chris, I think this one might be for you.
Yeah. Brendan, you looks like you created a ad that has not gotten any impressions. You've changed targeting multiple times. Another setting you might want to look at is the bids. So these are bought at auction, most likely for the ad format that you went with. So you want to make sure that your budget is enough per day, as well as the individual auction price, what you're willing to go to auction with. So you could be outbid in the marketplace. That could be a very strong possibility.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris. Oh, here we go. Jamie, how do brands work around using music without purchasing rights? So I'm going to answer this one, Chris, but then you please chime in. I'm going to go off of what I think the answer is, and you tell me if I'm wrong. But I believe TikTok has a lot of music available in the app that essentially have rights already cleared and available for use.
Exactly, Adrian. They have a very robust number of songs that you can leverage to not have to pay any royalties. Those are included. So spot on.
Great. And a lot of our partners do that. Even I think YouTube has a lot of pre-clips you can use, similar to how TikTok's going about it. Now, I would just want to emphasize, Jamie is bringing up a good point. If you're going to overlay music, please do be conscious of usage rights, because that can be a very interesting conversation after the fact.
Absolutely.
Jamie, I hope that answered your question. You can get into here. So Travis, I do just want to acknowledge your question, but again, the way that we see things here is we see this as an emerging platform that has growth opportunity in terms of the user base and the potential reach. As far as government regulations, we can't speak to that because we're not personally involved with those decisions. That said, we do want to make sure that we partner as well as possible with all of our partners and clients. So if they want to get involved in TikTok, we can give them the guidance and strategy to make that happen. If they don't, that's totally fine. There's a slew of strategies and partners available that make sense for any business. I hope that answers your question. I would definitely highly encourage you to stay on top of the news there so that you can make your own informed decisions. Keep clicking through here. We still have a pretty strong group hanging around. I think only about 10% has dropped off, which is great. It means the conversation is keeping you all engaged, which makes me happy. So let's poke around here. Let's see. You're welcome, Travis. No problem.
Giselle has a question about the music available
Go for it. Go for it, Chris. For me?
Yeah. About the the music available for use in the platform. There are creator tools, and they're listed there for you. A great feature that TikTok has is it will have a look at your video and even automatically suggest music that will go with your video based on a number of factors in the video. So it'll help make sure it's on point with what you're actually creating.
Cool. Thanks, Chris. I see one from Julie Ball here. Is it self-serve when it comes to analytics? So analytics, I could take that a few different ways. As far as the platform being self-serve, the in-stream and in-feed ads, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, you're building that stuff specifically in the ad platform to execute. Right. Some of those other top view and homepage takeover, that would probably be more of a back of the house ad unit that you would buy with them as a preferred buy at a larger investment level. So the metrics that you would see in platform for feed, they'll be right there for you. As far as click-through rate, clicks, impressions, probably even reach, and other metrics that are connected to the pixel. As far as analytics go and how we can analyze the post-click activity, I would highly encourage anyone and everybody on this phone call, actually not even encourage, I would demand that you use UTM codes. If you worked with me, you would hear me talk about UTM codes constantly. UTM codes are those codes that we put on a URL. That way, that data will pass into Google Analytics so they can measure post-click behavior. Simply using UTM source equals TikTok and medium equals CPC. If what I'm talking about is not resonating with you and you have more questions about that, feel free to reach out. Happy to talk about that in more detail. But when we talk about the data driving decisions, we really mean not just using platform data, but also analytics data in Google Analytics or whatever platform that you might be using. Let's see. Good, Julie. I'm glad you're using UTM codes. All right, you're welcome, Levent. Thank you very much for the compliment. Let's see. All right. Do you recommend that we, before engaging in marketing on TikTok, that we actually explore the app ourselves? I always think that's a good job, a good idea. Do you do research on products before you buy them? I would assume the answer is yes. So similar to that, I would encourage you to explore the platform so you can get to know it, get to know how it flows. Or if you're hesitant to do that, you can talk to someone like Chris, who is actively in the platform on a daily, not just for ads, but also for this research you're talking about and just content consumption. I hope that he's not opening the app as many times as the stats that we saw earlier, because if you are, Chris, you might need to turn on your screen time watching. But
definitely fewer than 16, but we're getting close.
That's good. That's good. All right. We can take a couple more questions here. Mira, let me know if I need to stop going through some questions, but we do have a few more popping in. So Iona has a great question here. As a small business, would you recommend to start advertising on TikTok? You mentioned that direct response might not be the best strategy to start off with. So I think, again, it just comes back to the goals. Without knowing too much about your business, Iona, it would come back to your goals. Do you have a need to reach the Gen Z demographic? If so, possibly consider. Are you lacking in awareness? I think that for small businesses, there's always the challenge of, sort of the chicken and the egg concept. Do I need the revenue and the profitability, or do I need the awareness first? And it's hard. It's difficult to achieve both at the same time. There are strategies that you can use to approach a need like that and a goal like that, where you ebb and flow the awareness and the profitability over a longer period of time. One of the things that I find a lot of joy in with my job is working with small businesses to set long-term goals. Rather than looking at data day by day, we need to look at data in 30-day chunks, 60-day chunks, 6 months, and a year. So, for example, if you tell me we want to be at a 3 return by the end of December 31st, and we're talking in January, then we'd put a plan together that would follow the flows of seasonality. And there would be opportunity to do testing that has more of an upper funnel approach in something like TikTok, but that doesn't hurt the end goal, because we know that we need to optimize the media mix according to your long-term goal and develop a long-term strategy in order to reach that. So I would say that, and then also appetite for risk. That's entirely up to you. But I would love to talk to you more about what it is you're trying to achieve in terms of your goals and how we can develop a strategy to make that happen. You'll likely get contacted by either Mira or Ashley after this with the materials for this. So please feel free to respond to that. And if you'd like to set up a free consultation or discussion, 100% open to doing that. Let's see. Sorry, my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, so I have to kind of get in here a little bit.
Yeah, Carly had a question if this is best suited for a national platform for brand awareness, or is it as effective for local advertising? And the answer is yes, because you can absolutely do both. National brands see effectiveness, as does hyper-local targeting. So you're absolutely able to location target. The ads that you see here in New York City, for example, will not be the same as someone targeting in California or other areas. So you can definitely target your local area for local business and really get in front of your customer.
Great. All right. All right, everybody. I want to make sure we give enough time for everyone to hop in. We've had some great questions. I really want to thank you for the engagement in the conversation and for sticking around, listening to Chris and I talk about the importance of TikTok and having appetite for risk.
And Siri, don't forget Siri.
And Siri, thank you, Siri, for chiming in always when completely necessary. Let's see. Chris, do you want to talk about the creators marketplace at all? We've got a question here about what the creative marketplace is, or creators marketplace is, and how that works.
Absolutely. So the creators marketplace is a marketplace for you to connect with influencers directly that have been vetted by TikTok and are essentially on a platform that you can contact and leverage for business, instead of some platforms where you just perhaps send them a DM or interact with them in a way that's not as official. This allows you to work with them. They've been vetted by TikTok, so you understand that they are going to be brand safe. They are going to have a lot of data to make sure that they're the right influencer for your brand, and you're able to then come to an agreement on price and what you're looking for to work together. And that's definitely something that we can help you with. We are beta users of that creator marketplace, so we can definitely connect you with the right influencer through Mason as well.
Great. All right, everybody. I think that wraps it up. Want to again just really say thank you so much for joining us today, taking time out of your busy day to hear about TikTok at a high level. Just to reiterate some of those takeaways here, you have a low point to entry. You can easily create content that has an authentic feel through the creation tools that exist on TikTok. There are multiple targeting strategies available that exist and are going to continue to evolve. And if there are any questions about how to get started or where to set goals, you can absolutely reach out to myself, Chris, or anyone at the Mason Interactive family to discuss what that would look like and get a free consultation about your business and how we can best provide value to you to achieve your goals, both long-term and short-term. We will follow up to answer any unanswered questions here. And again, I believe the content that we reviewed will be shared out for your reference and for your records. So without further ado, I wish you all the best and have a fantastic day and hope to talk to you soon. Thanks again for joining.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.